Hi. Oh, wait, what just happened? Oh,
Hey, what?
I was like, oh my God, I just denied the request by accident.
I always have a full on like panic when I'm like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna
Right?
get some
And like, Instagram too, like my volume has been super wonky. So I was like, oh crap, like, is my volume gonna work? Will we hear each
work?
other? Oh God, all the anxiety.
We're good. We're good. We're
We're
good.
good. Wow, it's like so cool to actually talk to you.
I know,
It's
right?
like, I don't know, like Instagram friends, just messaging back and forth.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, literally sending you absolute rubbish like most of the
oh.
time, and you just sort of putting up with my crap.
Well, I'm still convinced if we actually lived near each other, we would just be best friends. So,
Like there would be an endless supply of tea and chats. It would be awesome.
yeah, that would be great. Maybe coffee and chats, but yeah, totally.
Okay, you go with the coffee, I'll go with the tea. We're good. We're good. We'll meet in the middle.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, hey everybody, and thanks for joining Shosh and me. If you have any questions like along the way about anything, like, you know, Miribel, or questions for Shosh about her hair or my hair or whatever, just drop them and we'll go
Try,
through as much
try
as
and
we
do
can.
something.
So here we are.
Here we are, indeed. I've got all of them on standby as well. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to talk.
Oh my God. I have to say, like, so it took forever to get the tube. Like, this whole process just took so long for the rebrand. And when I was sending out the tubes for the first time to people and then saw people like holding them up, oh God, it was just such a surreal moment. And just seeing you hold them up there too, I was like, oh yeah, you do have them, don't you?
Done, Jackie, they're done. You don't have to stress
They're
about it
done and
anymore.
they're here. Oh, it was like, oh my God, I think the whole rebrand took a year and a half, and then the delay was like 6 months.
Oh, my life, honestly.
Yeah.
Always the same, isn't it? Especially with COVID, everything just must have gone so much slower than you were anticipating it to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really why everything took so long, COVID.
No.
It's okay.
Oh, remind us why you rebranded. I know, but I'm going to make you tell us again. Why did you rebrand?
I would love to tell you why I rebranded. Obviously,
Good question, isn't
my
it?
favorite thing to talk about. Um, yeah, so when we were My Soigné, the whole concept and idea was about like empowering curly hair and curly hair. Growing up with curly hair, and I can't speak for everybody and their experience, but for me, growing up with curly hair, I hated it. I freaking hated it. I envied everyone who had that like straight silky hair, and that's because that's what I was told was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like from a very young age, that was pretty, and my hair was wild and unruly. Um, so as soon as I was old enough, which was like 10, so I'm still not sure that was old enough, but to my parents it was like I was getting my hair chemically straightened.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so aside from the idea of just like chemicals and like gross things on our heads, it was also the idea of like, how does that shape you? Like, from a very young age, we're told we have to change the way we look to fit the standard of beauty, and that resonated with me until my early 20s. Um, so when I started my soigné, I was really channeling that, and I was like, no, we are curly hair and it is beautiful, and like we do not need to change for anybody and all this stuff.
I
And
love the clip.
then, yeah, Z formation. And then fast forward like literally 2 years into my soigné, and I have my daughter, and um, my hair texture changed. And so this is how my hair was prepartum for the most part. And then during my first 6 months of postpartum life, my hair was growing in this like very straight, wavy, silky texture. If
Yeah.
I was 10, I probably would have been like in heaven, but
He's finally gotten around to like embracing the
Yeah, right. Being 30 and like getting past all that, I was like, no, where are my curls? Like, this is my identity. And it was kind of like, well, shoot, like I don't even identify with this message that I've been like going around screaming about for 2 years. And Eric, my husband, has straight hair. So naturally, my daughter looks like him and has straight hair also. And
of course. You carried her for 10 months, but look like dad. Go on.
right, everyone is Eric, and I'm like, great, okay, yeah, I was just the so, so she has straight hair, and I'm like, my whole life I grew up being told that I wasn't pretty enough because my hair was too curly, too wild, too spontaneous, too unpredictable, too frizzy. So how is she gonna feel if her mom is just like, straight hair is not cool enough because curly hair is and all this stuff.
I love that.
And our bodies change. I feel grateful that my hair texture came back, but in the future it might not. My hair might change again with another pregnancy or just as I get older.
Hormones do crazy things.
Yes,
they really do.
They do. And when our hair changes from its color to like a gray or silver texture, it's like that changes too.
Changes again.
Then what happens? Like if I can't even stand behind my brand and feel like authentically connected to it, like I'm just the kind of person that I can't sell my stuff if I don't feel like I can use it and I feel a connection to it. So we changed.
I love that. I think the self-acceptance and self-growth in that, though, being like just coming to the realization that everything is worthy and everything has a place, and I love that. Like full circle. That's nuts.
It is full circle. And it was also kind of like, for so long I had been focusing on curly hair, and aside from the fact that all hair is beautiful in its own right, and we can all identify differently with our hair, like trying to get our hair to a certain curl pattern is not the ideal here. So maybe I'm sending the wrong message in general. Like the idea here is to get our hair healthy and to feel empowered knowing that we're taking over our health, right? So it's like, instead of focusing on being a curly hair brand or an all hair texture brand, like it doesn't, like literally none of that matters. It's just like, we just want to empower people to take over the health of their hair. So we're trying to focus on being a healthy.
Enjoy your hair. Like that's the whole point of it, isn't it? Like right? Whether it's straight or wavy or curly or coily or wherever the hell you fall on this whole spectrum of hair types,
right?
Enjoy what you've got and embrace what you've got. That's the whole point, isn't it? Just to get on self-love to go down that road.
And like that's kind of the idea behind the whole 70s branding. So we switched from this
my god, I love the 70s vibe. It made my day when you were sending them. I was just like, oh my gosh, so cool. The funky writing.
I appreciate
because when you were because you sent me a couple of pictures, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
When you were sending me them, I didn't get them as the individuals, and then I saw the packaging all together, and I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Thank you.
I get it.
Yeah, I was using you as like I don't know, taking your ideas and everything.
I loved it. It's so good.
And like the thing too is like, when I first came on Instagram, I had been wearing my hair curly for a little while, but I didn't know all the ins and outs of like really getting it healthy and taking care of it, whatever. And so when I first got on Instagram, I didn't have, my products yet. I was definitely like turning into a bit of a product junkie. And I was also like getting to this place where I didn't want to touch my hair. And
yeah, I think a lot of people get to that place before they take a bit of a step back, don't they?
For sure.
Absolutely.
If I don't get to day 5, it was a failed wash day. If I can't like go out and have fun.
Day 5 with my fine hair. If I get to day 3, I'm cheering. literally, if I get to day 3, I'm like, oh my gosh, and it still looks acceptable. And I tell you what, when I was stretching to day 7, when I first started, because of course you're not supposed to wash your hair until 7 days.
Right. Of course.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Right? It doesn't work. And it's
No,
not fun. It's
not,
not
not,
enjoyable.
I mean, it works for some people, but not for others. And actually, if it doesn't work for you, change it.
Yes, exactly.
Change it.
And it was like this thing of like, one of the things I hated about having to straighten my hair was like, I couldn't touch it. I couldn't go out in the rain or the snow, anything, too humid outside, forget about it. If I sweat too much, like worked out, all the underside would get curly. And then again. So then it was like, well, now my hair is curly and I can't touch it. Like, can't go out in the rain or it'll get fluffy and frizzy, and we don't want that. We want like all this definition. And
it's got to look pristine all the time.
Right. And Eric, you want to have a night? No, we can't have a night because my hair, I need to put like my scarf on, and that's not sexy.
Oh my gosh, honestly. My husband calls me Mrs. Witchy Washy in my bath. I quite like it.
It's cute.
we roll with it now. We just roll with it. Who cares?
So.
Oh, honestly, yeah, it does. I think a lot of people hit that kind of wall where they're like, actually, I started embracing my curls to enjoy my hair, and now I am literally terrified to do anything to my hair. I certainly hit that wall, literally, and smacked into it, bounced off it, and then broke it down. Like, because honestly, your hair is an extension of you. It's just supposed to be enjoyed. It's supposed to be an expression of your personality, whether it's straight, wavy, curly, whatever. And however you choose to wear it, whether you choose to wear it dyed and then take care of it to make sure it's still healthy, however you want to wear it, embrace that and enjoy it.
Exactly. Like
it shouldn't be hard work.
Right. And we shouldn't live around our hair.
No.
Our hair works.
Oh my God.
Not the other way around.
Life comes before curls every single time.
Every time. And this idea of like, well, I want to prolong wash day because wash day is hard and it's like this arduous experience with all these products and takes so long and you don't know what you're going to get. Like, no, it doesn't have to be.
It shouldn't be that.
It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to take forever.
Nope.
The
longest part of it should be the diffusing.
Right.
Realistically, because diffusing is the bane of my life. I don't know about anyone else, but
diffusing is
the longest part of it.
Yeah.
For me, diffusing.
Yeah. And like whatever you have, like kind of like, I know for me on day 1 when I've just washed, like my hair's a little crunchy, a little flat, because I washed it. Whatever. You're going to judge me if I go out like that.
Absolutely. My hair gets bigger as the week goes on.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's part and parcel. If it's a little bit, this is a wash day, it's a little bit flat, it's a little bit contained. Tomorrow it'll be here. Right. By day 3 it'll be here, and I love it. Day 3 is always the day I aim for. I'm like, give me all of that volume.
Yeah. Just rock each and every day for what it is, and that's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Shall we chat through the products?
Sure. What are your
because they're here. Calling to me. What are my favorite products?
Yes, tell me.
Always. That was your best creation ever. When you sent me this, I nearly died. Just amazing. Although I know you say it's really concentrated, I probably use more than I should, but it makes like the way it makes my hair feel is just glorious. And like if I choose to brush style, if I choose to rake, if I choose to scrunch, whatever, it just always comes out beautiful with this. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I figured that's my favorite.
Yeah, it's protein heavy. It was always going to be.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know this product very well, you've got literally rice protein, wheat protein in the top like 6. Mm-hmm. So, and hydrolyzed quinoa later. Like it is protein heavy. If you have fine hair and need something that's proteiny,
this.
It's gorgeous. This.
Yeah.
It's got it's a funky texture, mind, isn't it?
It's a what? Sorry.
An interesting texture. Sorry, I said a funky texture.
Yeah.
We were going with the 70s vibe then. But it's like blobby,
Yeah, it's a little blobby.
which I love. No, like in a good way. In a good way. I'm sorry. That's
I mean, whatever.
not helpful. I'm especially selling your products. No, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just the way it melts into the hair. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And
My favorite.
I actually made this product like when my hair was in that postpartum transition. Like yeah, it was like the cleanser and the cream and the flaxseed gel are all protein free. And my hair was like not having it. Like I had part of hair loss, low density, these weird long like new texture going on. I was like, I don't know. I think protein. Like I think I need some protein. But in the past, before I had made this product, like so many protein products just left my hair feeling really crispy. Like
really like that overloaded kind of feel.
Yeah. So I was like, I guess I'm just gonna make something then.
Made my day. When you messaged me that first time, I was like, I've got a protein leaving coming up. I was like, oh my gosh. Yes. Because when I think when you brought this out, there wasn't much that was really protein heavy on the market, leave-in-y type thing. Like I was struggling to find really protein heavy products, and my hair desperately needed. It's not quite so protein thirsty now, but at the time, oh my gosh, like if I didn't use a rice water rinse or something like that on a wash day, it would just slump. And I was really struggling to find really proteiny products, and then this, and it was just after I dyed my hair the first time. That's when it was. That's when you sent it over. It was just, my favourite. I love it so much. And it smells delicious as well.
Thank you so much.
It's so good.
So we have the foam and the hard hold gel in the works. And I can't wait to like send those over to you.
I've really gotten into foams recently. Fine hair, volume, just helps hugely. And I never used to like them because I always used to think I need hold, and just pile on the gel and this, that, and the other. But actually, the combination of one decent gel and a good foam, and suddenly you've got that hold and that volume as well. I cannot wait. I'm very excited about that. Give it all. I will throw like money and everything, and you just give.
Yeah, I'm hoping. The foam has been a lot easier to work on than this dang hard hold gel. So I'm like,
I was going to say that hard hold gel has been in the works for a while, hasn't it? Bless you.
Going on 2 years actually.
Oh my god!
This summer. Yes.
Oh, I like. What do you have to? Tell us the secrets. What do you have to go through in terms of creating a new product, just to give everyone kind of an idea of the process that you have to go through? Because that 2 years creating a product, no one would ever, I certainly wouldn't think it takes that long, but obviously the testing and making sure it's spot on, getting to the point where you're happy for it to go out further. So what's the route that you kind of take?
Yeah. So first thing I always do is my research on like different types of ingredients, like what ingredients are there like for the hold, for the viscosity, what else do I want to be in this product? Do I want it to have protein? Do I want it to, like what do I want this product to do? So I research ingredients. I do a lot of like competitor analysis and benchmarking that way. And then when I think I have something, I'll order my ingredients. and then I make a batch. Um, so I test out my batches, and this can be time consuming because each batch
I bet.
takes me like a night to make. It takes me a few hours to make. It has to set overnight before I'll, want to use it. And then I have to obviously wash my hair, use it, let it dry, see how it comes out, whatever. If I don't like it,
That is a
back.
beast in and of itself.
Right, right. If I don't like it, I go back, I tweak, and I do that whole process over again. Um, the gel has been, the hard hold gel rather, has been very tricky because hard hold gels in general can be very drying because of the
Yeah,
poly.
yes, they can.
So trying to figure out how to make something that it won't dry your hair like crazy or flake like crazy, but will give that crunchy hold that people are looking for is really difficult. And personally, with like these four products, our like current four products, um, they're all products that I like to use on my hair. Like I don't typically use a hard hold gel, so then experimenting with one is kind of tricky. I'm like, is this how someone would apply it? Like I don't know, because if I
Yeah,
apply it this way, I'm getting a harder hold. But if I apply it that way, but it's getting flakier, and did I do too much? Like I do people section their hair? Like I'm not sure. So I'm trying to like think about if I'm the ideal user, how am I using this product?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so that's kind of tricky. And then when I get to a place where I like it, or I'm like, okay, I think this might be okay, this might work, I have sent it out to some people for testing. I'm usually in the US, and I get their feedback. And then based on their feedback, I'll continue to tweak or maybe move forward. So I think after about a year of figuring out this hard hold gel, making variations, testing it on myself, I finally sent it out to people. Like I liked it enough to send it out to people. I got mixed feedback, I'm not gonna lie, which was a little concerning, but I went with my gut and I was like, with all these other four products, my gut, and it worked out. So I'm gonna still go with my gut and send it off to the lab and have them make it for me, and we'll see.
Yeah.
So once I sent it off to the lab, they have to source the ingredients, make it. They have to price it out for me. Like there's a whole bunch of parts that have to fit together. So they made my version that I really liked. And then we couldn't make it because we couldn't get one of the ingredients. Like I would have had to just order an absurd amount of
Oh
gel that
no.
nor can I afford to buy as a small business. So what has to happen, because I like to develop my own formulas and own my own formulas versus like a lot of brands will have research and development outsourced and
Yeah.
might not actually own their formulas. So I want to own my formulas. I have to go back and remake and tweak. So it's a little difficult because I have to formulate not necessarily knowing if it's going to work out when it gets to the lab.
No.
That's the only time I've ever had that problem. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I would have been like
So then
throwing things. I can't believe. Oh,
it
that's
was
awful.
really frustrating. I mean, it's nobody's fault, but it was really frustrating. So I was like, okay. So I went back and I made another version. And I was like, I think this is okay, but it's always a little different when the lab makes it versus like me making it at home because
Yeah.
whatever. So when I got theirs, I didn't like it the same way I liked it when I made it myself. So I was like, this is not going to work. But then the ingredient that I needed to make it a hard hold gel sold out online, and I can't find it from any other supplier. So I wrote to my lab and I explained this to them, and I was like, I guess this is on pause because I can't make another version of it, but they made a version for me. I guess they like felt my pain and, you know, I'm a
decided
loyal
to help you out
customer.
a bit. Oh my
To
gosh.
do that, and so we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I've got everything crossed for you for no more hiccups, because that just sounds like it's been a little bit of a nightmare.
It's been a bit of
Um,
a little hard, but you know what? It's a challenge, and I will take this challenge.
you can take on any challenge.
Fine, it's fine.
You got it.
I'm just, and everyone wants a hard hold gel, so
Oh my life. I can't.
deliver. We're gonna deliver. And then I had tried, since I ran out of my the former ingredient that I was using to make it a hard hold and couldn't source it, I was like, let me substitute it with this other thing that I have to give hold. And it was just Flake City, and my hair looked.
Oh
I was
no.
like, this is not it. So it's not gonna work if I don't have this ingredient.
I think we are all ready for normal business. Now, two people have asked this, so I will ask it. And if you don't want to say, you don't have to.
Okay.
It's absolutely fine. But two people have asked, do the foam and the hard hull have protein?
They do have some protein. They do. And let me tell you why I decided to put some protein in these products. So protein, gives our hair strength. And I think adding a little bit of protein will help the hold. Because if our hair is stronger and it's making your hair more elastic and it's allowing your curl to take that form and take that shape, just that alone, like having some protein, will give you longevity with your curls.
Yep.
So
absolutely. My hat's coming in the comments.
Yeah.
People celebrating. They're very happy.
Yay! When I use the Powerhouse protein and the flaxseed gel, my hair holds longer than if I use like the hair cream and the flaxseed gel because of the added touch.
This is a beautiful combination. The flaxseed and the protein cream, just protein. Oh, sorry, I got confused then. Protein cream, leave-in. You call it it's a protein cream now.
I did change the name. I did.
I love it. It's all good.
Yeah, I did it for people, but I did it because I felt like it was a little too thick.
To be fair, it has a creamier texture. Let's be honest. It's not like a leave-in. Yeah, it's a much creamier texture, isn't it? So actually, I can see the logic in that. That makes sense. I'm gonna rub more in my hand.
It's been a bit.
It smells good, so why not?
Just right, just get it on the.
Get down the Rizzies. I love it. But yeah, no, that worked. It's a beautiful combination.
Thank you.
I probably use that a lot more than I do the Dream Curls one. Yeah. But that makes sense because of my hair texture. It just does.
Yeah.
It's still beautiful. They're stunning products. They really are. Can I bang on about that one?
I would love you to bang on about that one. That's all I want.
Because someone asked me, one of the questions I had in was, is it too heavy for fine hair? And no is the answer. But I wanted to sort of almost like explain why. So the only, other than like essentially oils, the only carrier oil, which tends to be a little bit held, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the formulator, not me, and I'm just banging on. The only carrier oil, which tends to be a little bit heavier in here, is the jojoba oil. And jojoba oil is really, really close to your hair's own sebum, your hair's own oil. So actually, it's fairly light in and of itself. Yeah. And then you've got your apple cider vinegar, you've got a couple of cationic surfactants and bits and pieces like that. But it's a really light product. It's not like other like low poos and no poo. Low poos? It's not. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. It's not like other no poos in that quite a lot of them tend to be heavier and more conditioning. It's beautiful. But someone was asking me how I use it as well. And this either goes on my hair if I need to wash my hair more frequently and don't need to really, because I clarify a lot. And this is a little bit clarifying anyway, because it's got the apple cider vinegar in. But this goes on the days that I don't want to use clarifying shampoo. But also what I've been doing recently and getting beautiful shine, crazy shine, is clarifying and then using a little bit of this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And often I find I don't then need to follow up with conditioner, because this in and of itself is a little bit conditioning, and because my hair's really fine, it doesn't need the heavier bits and pieces. So the shine off it is something else. Oh my life. Sorry, I've jabbered, but yeah, probably wasn't how you intended it to be used, but that's how I'm using it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, if I clear my, wow, I clarify my hair like once a month or a month and a half or so. I always use that after I clarify also.
Stunning.
Yeah.
It really, like, because it's such a balanced pH as well, and shampoos tend to be a higher pH, aren't they? Because they need to get all the rubbish off your scalp as well. So it just brings the pH of the hair back down to where it's supposed to be, and gives it this beautiful, smooth, shiny appearance that just, I love it. I've gone through like half the bottle already.
Have you? Yeah, I had somebody ask me.
I'm really bad with it.
I mean, I had someone ask me like, how do you keep from using too much of it? And I was like, ooh, I definitely always use too much of it for no other reason than it like has this really amazing cooling tingling sensation. So to just like prolong that amazing feeling, I'm like, a little more won't hurt.
Absolutely. It does. It is a little, goes a long way in that actually the spreadability of it, when you put it on your scalp, it spreads really easily. And it's got, what's the ingredient? Because it's got like almost little micro beady type thingies in it, isn't it? What's the ingredient that does that?
Those are the jojoba beads. Yeah.
I love that so much. I'm very excited. Spreadability wise, it spreads really well. So actually you can get away with using less.
Yeah.
It just feels really nice to just go through it, doesn't it?
Yeah. But you don't have to. But you're...
And it's got the lightest lather. So if you're a non-lathering person, if you don't like lathering shampoos, then there's your boy. It's just beautiful.
Thank you.
It's my second to that one. Those two, I yeah, marry them.
Love it. Yeah. I feel like the hair cleanser is a little bit of an underrated, well, just like cleansing products in general get a little bit underrated. Styling products and like,
yeah, they do.
Cleansing.
I find that a lot on my page. Everyone wants to know about the styling products, but actually if you haven't got a good base, it'll never work anyway. So the base comes first, and then think about your styling products. Find the cleansers and the level of conditioning that you need, because you know not everyone needs loads and loads of conditioner. We found this out, or I found this out the hard way.
It's true.
Actually, that's something I really love about your line, is that you don't have a conditioner, because you don't really need one with your product. it just works, because that, like, in that sense, none of it weighs down your hair. None of it has ever weighed down my hair, and my hair's like baby fine. But that one, then that one, that one, then that one.
Yeah.
In that order. You've got enough, especially for fine hair, you've got enough conditioning and protein and a lovely, I'd say medium-ish hold. Would you agree with that? Yeah. Yeah. I don't use a conditioner with them at all. It's just, yeah.
I've had people ask me about conditioners, and part of why like these two specifically are, I call them creams, is because
you can use them as conditioner.
Yeah. Like one of the things, I don't know, maybe, you know, I'm not an actual chemist or scientist or whatever. I just was bored after my day job when I started this business and started my research. So from what I was finding was that if you look at conditioners, deep conditioners, leave-in conditioners, they use a lot of the same products. It's a lot of the same products. It's just different concentration.
Marketed in a different way.
So instead of and after I went through my little product junkie phase, I was like, I cannot. Like I am not this person. There's too much like and I'm a very, very big aesthetics person. It's just I know. And so I was like, I just want a couple things that are versatile, you know? So like I can take my cream, one of my creams, and I can water it down a little bit and it's a conditioner. Or I can water it down more and it's a leave-in, or it's a cream, or it's a treatment or a deep conditioner, you know, like
Yeah.
the products are a bit expensive for I understand that, but it's because they are
I think they're multifunctional.
and you
You
can use
don't need a lot of them.
right.
Yeah,
Just four
absolutely.
products in one. So like
Yeah.
not buying.
Whereas if you go to other, and I do, I will get slapped for this one, but I do wonder how much deep conditioner and this and that and the other is actually marketing to a certain extent as well. Yeah, thank you. I was doing a comparison between so it was Shea Moisture. I don't personally use Shea Moisture. Because it's just quite heavy on my hair. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. It just doesn't work personally for me. But I was doing a comparison between one of their deep conditioners and their conditioner from the same line. And of the like really active ingredients, there was very little difference.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, perhaps the concentrations, but the penetrative ingredients were actually present in both the deep conditioner and the conditioner.
Right.
And I was like, how much of this is just how it's being marketed?
Right.
And therefore, they get to sell more products because you need this and this and this and this and this and this, instead of having multifunctional products that work across the board that, yes, are perhaps a little bit more, have a slightly higher price tag, but
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. And to be honest, also, now that we're like talking and I'm thinking about it, like with the hard hold, for example, that I'm working on. So the ingredient that gives it hold and the ingredient that gives it viscosity are different. So
interesting.
yeah, so so there's like carbomer, for example, that a lot of gels use, and that will make the gel really thick. But it really doesn't have any hold. It literally emulsifies ingredients together and gives it its viscosity. But then the copolymers are pretty thin. They don't really add to the viscosity much, but that's what is film forming, and that's what gives the product hold. Same with like some proteins. So I'm sure also with like a deep conditioner versus like the leave-in or regular conditioner, they could have the same amount of active ingredients even, but just thickener, the viscosity enhancing ingredients are used more in the conditioner.
It's interesting, isn't it, when you dig a little bit deeper into things like this.
Market
and how marketing stories could, it's always worth checking the label on things anyway, because so many companies will say my deep conditioner penetrates the hair and really goes deep for that inner nourishment, and you look at the ingredients, you're like, what penetrates the hair in that? There's nothing that is a small enough molecular size that's going to penetrate the hair. There are only certain things that can, because of their molecular size. Anyway, I digress. I do think that if some brands, not all brands are like it by any stretch, but if they were slightly more upfront about perhaps their marketing, then their ranges would go rather than be quite so sprawling. But that's my opinion, and I'm probably going to get my wrist slapped for it, but oh well.
It's like when so many people assume or have been conditioned to think that they need all these products, it's hard to like explain and change consumer behavior of like, no, you don't. I don't think you do.
Agreed. And I do think certain products have a place. Bond rebuilders I use fairly often because I have damage to my hair, and that helps keep it healthy. And there are specific ingredients in there that help my hair.
Yeah.
But could you just leave a conditioner on a little bit longer?
That's the question.
That's the question.
Like you can, like for me, sometimes I just put like I'll use like the hair cream as my conditioner,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't rinse it all out, so I don't necessarily reapply.
And suddenly you've got a leaf in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I just squish in some water, it lightens it, and so now essentially it would have been like putting in a leave-in.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, you know, some brands will have a difference between the rinse out and the leave in, because the rinse out will contain some things that you're not meant to leave in your hair. But that's normally like the preservatives and things like that, isn't it? Rather than necessarily the actives that you want to soften and do all the blah blahs. Do all the blah blahs? Sorry, that just came out of my mouth.
It's going to be like almost 6 p.m. where you are, right? It's like 5:45, so you had your day.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, honestly, I have absolutely no control over what comes out of my mouth. So sometimes I listen to what I've said and I'm like, why?
It's fine. It's great.
Oh, but yeah, it's interesting to hear it from someone who formulates products as well.
Yeah, and like I said, like not formally trained, not a scientist or a chemist or anything. I just
that.
This is interesting. So here we are. And you can find anything on Google and YouTube, so
Absolutely. But the one thing I will say is dig a little bit further on Google, because usually the first things that come up, yeah, the slightly more questionable things.
Oh yeah. Ask about pH.
Oh, pH. Oh, of conditioner and leave-in.
Yeah.
Well, they're generally a little bit of a lower pH, aren't they? Because your hair is naturally acidic.
Yeah.
So
like
generally lies,
4
to 5.
Yeah.
And if you end up with, you shouldn't push it too far. You shouldn't push it too far one way or the other, because that can cause all sorts of issues. But pH essentially causes the hair to swell or contract. If you go too low, contract; too high, swell. And that can cause cuticle damage. But shampoos tend to be formulated to be a higher pH, because your scalp is a higher pH, and also it needs to lift all the rubbish off your hair. That's how part and parcel of how it does it. But your conditioner and your leave-in and things like that, because they should be of a lower pH, because they're designed to soften and condition the hair. So they need to be of a lower pH in order to do that.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Is that about it?
I mean, typically clarifying shampoos have a pH of about 6 to 7. This higher pH, like Shosh said, swells your hair, opens up your hair cuticle, and that's what allows you to have that like deeper clean on your scalp and in your hair. And then your conditioners, your leave-ins would have a pH of 4 to 5, which is similar to the pH of your hair, and that seals your cuticle back down and smooths out your hair shaft. And that's why also when we talk about like locking in moisture and like applying products to your hair when it's wet, especially if you're, transitioning or your hair has some damage and stuff, it's locking in the moisture and the hydration from the water, because it's sealing your cuticle down while your hair's wet. And
that is an important point, because actually you've got to bear in mind that water is a base as well.
Mm-hmm.
Water in and of itself pure water is pH 7. If you've got hard water, it can be anything up to pH 9.
Mm-hmm.
So it is important to be bearing in mind, if you do want to lock in this hydration and bits and pieces like that, you do need to be using these products of a lower pH, like Jackie said.
And I think it's also interesting, and I don't know, you let me know how you feel about this statement, but I see sometimes people say gentle clarifying shampoo, and I always find that a very interesting term, because in my opinion, knowing that the pH of a clarifier has to be between 6 and 7, and something that's chelating, So that's like a super deep clean, like hard water calcium buildup. Um,
Yeah.
that's an even higher pH, like closer to 9, I believe. And things like bentonite clay have very high pHs,
Mega.
and charcoal.
Yeah.
So when I hear people talk about gentle clarifying, I'm always like, that's bull, because you can't gently clarify. You have to have a pH high enough to swell your hair and open the cuticle to get that deep clean. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're just surface
Yeah.
cleaning. You know, like our
Yeah.
hair cleanser has a pH of 4 to 5. So this is technically not clarifying. This is like a surface level gentle clean. It's not going to get all the buildup off your hair if you have hard water.
But the vinegar will help a little bit with that hard water.
Yeah, but oh my god.
It's not going to get the whole lot off by any stretch, but it will just that little bit.
Yeah. So I'm like,
no, I think, yeah. I personally, people, when I clarify, I look for tangled, knotty, straw-like hair.
mm-hmm.
If my hair is not feeling like that post clarifying, and I don't mean going into like styling. If my hair's feeling like that going into styling, we have an issue.
Right.
But if my hair is not feeling like that after I have used that shampoo, for me, it's not strong enough.
Yeah.
And how healthy that is for my hair, I don't know. But like my hair is in a really, really good state, so clearly I'm not killing it. But clarifying shampoos, people get really scared of that feeling.
Yeah.
But clarifying shampoos are rough on your hair.
They are.
They're not necessarily. They're not. They will leave your hair feeling dry and tangled and like straw.
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily drying to the hair, because that's when your conditioner comes in, and that's when your cream and this, that, and the other comes in to balance everything out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I do know what you mean.
So, gentle.
Just clarifying, gentle.
Yeah.
But then the other thing that sort of gets me as well is there are a lot of low poos that actually are fairly clarifying because of the number of surfactants that are used within the formulation. If you've got like 2-3 surfactants that are really high within that formulation list, that's going to be a stronger shampoo and that's going to be more clarifying. So, you know, I always find, for example, the naughty shampoos are fairly clarifying.
Okay.
Because they've got like 3 or 4 surfactants in the first like 5 or 6 ingredients, and therefore blitz my hair. But yeah, I know what you mean. Gentle and clarifying. Don't
like the wording. I guess it's marketing. Also, I'm just like killing myself.
Yeah. Someone said talk about proteins products.
Okay. Like our protein product?
Do we want to talk about this one? Is that what we're asking? I'll talk about this for days. Like, I love this product.
10 hours.
Oh dear me. It is a cracking one. I do use probably, I'm not gonna, but like a really good blob.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't use so much, but it works really well. And it makes my hair feel really nice. And I'm like, oh, I love it.
It does.
Oh.
It comes out super blobby, but that's the texture. It is pretty thick. As you can see, it's not even drooping.
It's gorgeous. But I said earlier, the texture when you put it out is blobby, but you, like, I've probably globbed quite a lot on my hand at this point, haven't I, throughout this chat? And I've rubbed it into my hands each time, and it's smooth. It's like butter, just melts into butter. Using all the buzzwords here. It literally melts into my skin. So imagine what it's doing to my hair. Like, it melts in my hair. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I could sing it praises all day. You know I could.
I mean, I never get tired of hearing it though, so it's fine. It's my children. Like, so much like time, love, energy, blood, sweat, and tears went into creating these things. Like, they are my babies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if you want to talk. Well, we don't. I guess Miri's gonna go down for her nap soon, so I have probably like 10 more minutes. But talk about like different types of protein. I had somebody once who had messaged me about the fact that their hair, what was it? Oh, that they were, wait, this is now a terrible story. I think it was that their hair was protein sensitive or
Sensitive?
with some proteins, I want to say. Oh no, they were having trouble with flash drying with
Oh, okay.
I think. I think that was it. And so they thought they couldn't use protein in their hair because the idea is that, like, you know, aloe and coconut simulate protein, so therefore, like, they were thinking they were protein sensitive.
Right.
So I think it's interesting also, and not super well, we don't talk about it a ton, but how there are different types of proteins and they penetrate differently. So like you could have your hair could have an adverse reaction to like an amino acid type protein, which is a very small protein that penetrates pretty deep into your hair shaft. But your hair could be totally fine with like the hydrolyzed rice protein or wheat protein, something that's a little bit bigger inside.
The one that settles on the outside of the hair shaft.
Yeah. So like, you know, you might think your hair is a bit protein sensitive, but it might just be that you're not finding the right kinds of proteins.
Yeah. I'm not sure. For me, protein sensitive is never the right word anyway, because our hair is made of protein.
Yeah.
So it always poses a bit of a juxtaposition for me that I'm a bit like,
Yeah.
Your hair may just not need protein. That's the other way. If you think of it as a strengthening ingredient,
Yeah.
and you have very coarse, very dense, very, not very porous hair,
Yeah.
your hair doesn't need the extra strength. It's not that it's sensitive, it just doesn't need it. But however, if you then go and do some damage to your hair and you decide to bleach the ever-living hell out of it, then actually protein can work with that. And I found a study the other day, oh my gosh, it was so interesting, that they did a study with hydrolyzed proteins and showed that for damaged hair in particular, because some hydrolyzed proteins have a bit of a positive charge going on, they stick to that neck, because when your hair is damaged, it becomes even more negatively charged than normal hair is anyway. And it sticks to like the damaged areas of your hair in particular, and therefore sort of fills in those areas in the cuticle. It was really, I'll see if I can find it because I'm jabbering now. Such an interesting, it was on NC.
Oh no. Oh no, Shosh. I lost you. I don't know. Can you guys still hear me? Shosh, come back. Please. Nope. Okay, she's gone. All right then. Well, I'm gonna have to go soon anyway, because like I said, Miri naps at 1. So, oh, you can hear me. Well, that's good. I guess we'll end the live then. Oh no, she came back. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so someone is asking how they should know if they should include protein.
I was still jabbering on. I don't know if anyone could hear me, but I was like, and a hydrolyzed protein. Blah, blah.
It's all good. It's all good. You'll have to send me that article.
Yes, I will re-find it. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I would love to read it. So, asked about how to know whether to use protein in their hair routine.
Oh, damaged or finer hair, I would say. If your hair is weaker naturally, use something to strengthen it.
Yeah.
That's the simple thing. And the other thing I would say, because I get so many questions about it's not an isolated thing that balances it, the moisture and protein balances. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, you've got water, which we all need. You know, our hair needs to be washed once in a while. You've got conditioning agents, which soften the hair, and you've got protein, which strengthens.
Yep.
That simple. Keep it that simple, and it will make a lot more sense.
Is everything. I mean, I use a Powerhouse protein cream pretty much every wash day, more or less, but I decide whether or not I want to style with it based on whether my curls just feel like they need some bounce and like, you know, push back into them. That's it.
Yeah.
And if my hair's feeling dry, it's the hair cream.
Easy peasy.
Easy.
Keep it that simple.
Right.
It doesn't need to be any more complicated.
Your life.
And some days it might be that actually you need to use them both.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
And that's fine too. Indeed.
Absolutely. Keep it easy. Hair is supposed to be enjoyed and easy, and we've literally come full circle.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go to get Miri down for her.
That's why I did that. I was like, you know what? If I come full circle, that's a perfect point.
So I'm gonna definitely try to save this live and see if we can post it. Because this was a good.
I'm sure it comes up at the end with a save thing. So I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But thank you for talking with me.
Thank you for having me. I've absolutely loved having a proper chin wag. It's been lovely.
What did you just say?
Sorry. Chin wag, have a chat. It's a very, very, very like British word.
I was just like, I have not heard that.
I really, really forget sometimes that some of the colloquialisms I use are not like worldwide.
Hey, it's great. Like,
anyway, I will let you get off to Miri and have the most amazing day. It's been absolutely lovely chatting to you.
It really did, and we'll do it again.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, my lovely.
Okay.
I'll duck out and then you can close it.
Okay.
Big love. Thanks everyone for joining us. Bye guys.
Okay, guys. Thank you again for joining us. This has been really fun and awesome to talk to Shosh. And I don't know if we got to all the questions in here, but really appreciate all you guys staying and watching and asking. For my people in the UK on here right now, our products are for sale at Naturalistic Products, Keo Beauty, and they're on their way to House of Curls. And if you're in the US, you can buy these from miribelnaturals.com, and I'm currently trying to get the products on Amazon, so that will also be an option. And then if you're anywhere else in the world, you can go to miribelnaturals.com and check out where to shop, and we have various retailers around the world and are always looking for new ones, so let me know if you want us in your country or if there's anywhere you want to see our products. Okay, thank you all again. I'm gonna go. I love you all. Thank you for the support, and we will talk again later.